What is up, everybody? It's Cops Comics back with haul number 7 for the channel. Have a pretty cool haul for you today. I'm gonna try to keep it short and sweet. I grabbed most of these books through late January, through like late March, early April. Um, I kind of mix up some pickups, some hauls from some shops I got among one another. So I'm gonna do my best to differentiate, but I have a general idea and remember how much I paid for everything. So without further ado, let's get into it. Something a little different. I had a really good come up. Probably never gonna find something like this again, just because my patience and how much I dislike digging through Facebook Marketplace for comics. But I was looking for a plant stand back in February or January on Marketplace, and I decided to look at comics to search for comics, and one of the first few listings I saw blew my mind. So this collector had a handful of lots listed, and this was the only one left on there. So I shot her a message. We met at a bar, and I grabbed these books off of her. So it was just a few books. The first one was NYX number 1. Number 2. And then you bet it, or you guessed it, number 3. So this was from some girl who actually picked these up in high school, and I guess her parents gave her long box of comics, and this was one of the runs that she was reading for a little bit. She only went up to issue number 3, and I grabbed these 3 books for $200. So I guess she had these listed earlier for $15, but someone messaged her that they're worth a bit more than that. Whoever messaged her didn't end up buying it though, so I was able to swoop in and pick it up. So it does have, I don't think you could see it on the camera or through the bag, but there are some slight creasing, yeah, like right there, but nothing too extreme that breaks color. So I'm sure this would look really good with the press. Not sure what it would get up to. It's probably capped out at a 9.2 or a 9.4, but for $200, I think that's like half of fair market value on this book. And I got the first 2 issues in there as well. So a book that I never thought I'd own. I feel like that's pretty cliche of me to say on this channel, but the deal presented itself, and there's nothing better than finding a book in the wild, especially if it's someplace where you typically don't find comics at, like on Facebook Marketplace. So I'll take that as a win in my books. Now, going straight to Whatnot, not a Cops Comics haul without cheese and keys. So this first book I grabbed from him was from late January. This was before Watchmen, number 3. The Neal Adams, I want to say 1:25 ratio. I always like seeing Neal Adams do modern books, especially if it's for a character that he doesn't do that often. In this case, Dr. Manhattan. So I won this on his auction for $5 plus shipping. And yeah, it doesn't sell for a lot, but the few listings that are on eBay are pretty pricey. Then from another couple shows, so that was the only thing I got from one of his shows, and then I grabbed this from another show, and no, it is not the original first print, but this is the 1977 reprint, I want to say, or 1974 reprint of All-Star Comics number 2. This is like the second or third Alan Scott, and then this is the issue that predates the Justice Society of America. So buying, adding to my collection a More Fun Comics with the Golden Age Spectre cover on it. That's kind of like a grail book for me. So I'll take a reprint of this, and I won it for $6 plus shipping. So pretty happy about that. And then the last 2 books I grabbed from one of his shows was Space Adventures Presents UFO, number 60, just a late Silver Age Charlton sci-fi book. And then sticking with sci-fi, we have Astounding Science Fiction, August 1939. This is the first Robert Heinlein story, one of the greatest science fiction authors of who did pulps, and of the I forgot the specific genre of science fiction that he did, but still a really cool book. First pulp that I'm adding to my collection. It's something that I like to get into, but it's just such a deep rabbit hole. But to add a banger like this as my first pulp, that's pretty cool. It was also $20, which is kind of insane if you look at prices for it. There is water damage, but everything is intact for a book that's 80 something, almost 90 years old. That's really impressive for the condition it's in. I haven't bothered handling it, kind of afraid to handle something this old, especially pulps, how they're just held together with glue. And then it would not be a Cheese and Keys show without free books. So freebies I grabbed off he gave to me, or that I picked. Let's pick a number 1 through 10, and you say your number, and then he pulls the book out. So I picked that out for myself. Son of Satan number 2. Got the free comic book day, the Tick. I want to say that's a variant actually. And then Star Wars number 60. So pretty cool books, especially when you're not paying for them or directly for them. Yeah. And then something else that's a little out of the ordinary for me to pick up or for me to find is a antique store find. So just wandering through a antique store in the Seattle area, and I came across this in a vendor's booth. They had a bunch of overpriced Copper Age and modern stuff, but they also had a Silver Age copy of ASM, Bronze Age, copy of ASM number 92. Really cool Iceman cover. And I don't think I kept the price sticker on this one, but this was $8. Pretty worn, staples are a little rusted, but for a 12 or 15 cent ASM issue, under 100, gotta pick it up. Then in March, I went back to Illinois for my grandpa's 90th birthday. Couldn't miss out on that, so I just stopped at the old LCS that I worked at. Went through some long boxes, or only one long box really, and that was the Red Hood box. So I got Red Hood and the Outlaws number 19. This is the cover B. I think it's called like the date night variant with Artemis on it. I think she's looking pretty good on that cover, and it's yeah, cool cover. Happy to have it. Listed at $4, but I got a pretty steep discount on all these. And you got Red Hood Outlaw number 26. This book really doesn't go for anything, but I like the cover, and I also want to say that Yasmin Putri did the cover B variant on it, where he's like holding the, where Red Hood's holding his helmet like that. That book commands a premium. So close, but no cigar on that. Also grabbed Red Hood Outlaw number 43. This is the Philip Tan variant. This book really doesn't go for much, but I thought it was pretty badass. This mouthpiece that Red Hood has on it, it really reminds me of a Mortal Kombat character, like Sub-Zero or something, especially holding the katana like that. So pretty sweet. And then the best out of the 4 that I found was Red Hood Outlaw number 33. For some reason, this book goes for quite a bit. A lot of $40, $50 listings on eBay. This was hot a couple months ago. I think it stayed steady, but it's not selling at the rate that it did. Not sure if you could see the spine. It's not that well, but it's not perfect, but could look a lot worse. Yeah, you got some spine ticks down yonder. There we go. Now it's time for my spot. Jason's spot. Picked up quite a few books over the last like 2.5 months when this video is from. This lot I remember specifically because I was through the roof with the deal that I got. So I want to say this was like the last set of books I got from him, but it's the one I remember most. So I'll start with it. So yeah, he had a box of like Dave Stephen books. Nothing that was too expensive, but he had some like Rocketeer books. He had a couple sets of these. He also had Star Slayer 2 and 3, a couple sets of those, but I just grabbed this one. Maybe I should have grabbed the other ones, but he has the Rocketeer movie adaptation in here, and then the special edition Rocketeer number 1. He had that marked as 10. Then he also got a short box of a bunch of raw 90s books and some like Reader's Digests and magazines. And he said that he wasn't really interested in any of these, and if I found something I liked, I could have it free. So the first book that really caught my eye was Wizard Magazine, number 32. Really cool Frank Miller cover. Seeing him do Spawn and Batman together is pretty sick. I know I just showed off that Amazing Heroes in my last video. That was another Frank Miller Batman cover, but that one had Elektra on it. So I always like coming across when artists do popular characters that they don't always do. In this case, Frank Miller and Spawn. Then another pretty popular guy that you might know. Found a Todd McFarlane cover. This isn't any Todd McFarlane cover, but this is Amazing Heroes number 179. Never seen this book before. I remember seeing it in the Mercenot Hall, and I was pretty blown away to hear how much it went for. And yeah, people are paying for that online, but a funny cover with these little two kids right here talking about Tom McFarthing. I wonder who that guy is. And then the last few books that I picked up were Sonic Super Special, Sonic Firsts, number 3, or just Sonic Super Special, number 3. And then also got Sonic the Hedgehog, number 288, the Best Buds variant. Pretty funny that the standard cover goes for more than this variant does, but I've kind of gotten into the habit every time I see a Sonic book for cheap, I'll pick it up. And then the next two books I found were from a new collection he was processing. I think he bought it from another dealer, and he said, "Don't worry about what they're priced at. You won't have to pay that much." So I said, "Okay, sure. Let's see what we could find." So, first book I got, second copy I own of this guy. But we got Two Gun Kid number 77. This is Marvel 1965, I want to say. But you got the Black Panther prototype. I picked up a copy of this book when I was in Nebraska studying from Trading Tape Comic Book Center, and I bought a graded 4.0 for $40. One cool thing about that shop is he didn't price graded books at the graded value. He'd sell them at raw value. But anyways, back to this one. Yeah, so I just threw it in the lot, and I said, shoot, we'll see if he knows what it is, and if he charges me a lot for it. So this is a really sharp copy, as I just showed it to you. The colors in it and on the back are great. And then the last book I got, I'm not too familiar with this run, but I know a little bit about it, and this one also stood out to me. We got World's Finest, number 153. This is the infamous Batman slaps Robin book on the like second or third page in here. So yeah, I'm actually really impressed that I recognize this, but I knew this was low significant, and I knew that the $28 price tag on it also seemed a little low, especially for a DC book from this era where they're typically a bit more beat than a Marvel book you would find. So yeah, that was marked at $28. I think that had like a $20 price tag on it. I ended up paying $60 for everything, That book pays for it alone, and then some. And then I got these really cool oddity Silver Age books from both Marvel and DC. So happy to have a second copy of this guy, and happy to own this piece of pop culture. And then before I was walking out, I feel like I got such a good deal, I decided to pick something else up. Paid fair market value, or maybe overpaid for it, but got the Howling Commandos of S.H.I.E.L.D. hip-hop variant. This isn't Gangstar, this is the 6 Feet Deep album by Gravediggers. So pretty cool. I'll come across a hip-hop anytime. I'll pick up a hip-hop anytime I find it for a reasonable price. Might overpaid for it, but I'm not mad. And then the next set of books I got, I forgot how much I paid for these, but roughly everything in here was $5. So keep that in mind. First book was Ghostly Haunts number 42. I don't think there's any significance to this one, but just a cool Charlton Bronze Age horror book. Also get in the habit of just picking these up. Obviously the Tom Sutton books are the ones that command the most premium, but this kind of just gave off like a golden age Schomburg vibe to me, with how much is going on in the cover and having the damsel in distress there on the bottom. Next grab was Green Lantern number 36, DC Universe logo. Nothing special, but always pick them up when I see them. Supergirl number 3, another DC Universe logo. This one goes for quite a bit, actually. I think it's like a 25 to 35 listing price. And we got Sabrina the Teenage Witch number 34. Love this run. Got some Clayton Crane, the War Machine Punisher number 20, 227. This is one of the this cover is not as sexy as the other ones in the run, like 223, 224, I want to say, where he's holding like the American flag or whatever. And the first time he appeared, I know I have those in the collection back home. Got Thrawn number 4, great run. Always pick them up when I find them. I know I've gotten some other ones from that shop too. Got Grendel number 1. Then this is where things really start to get fun. Got Batman, or Detective Comics, pardon me, 524, the first full Killer Croc. Newsstand, not like that matters for that age, but this newsstand does matter. We got Batman number 666. This is the first Damian Wayne as Batman, and it is a newsstand. The spine's a little beat, so it's probably not much different of a value than a direct edition at this point, but still a cool variant. I consider it a ratio, just with how few of them there are compared to direct. And then the last one I got was Astonishing Tales number 25, the first Deathlock. Once again, very low grade again. Staples are attached, a little bit of writing on the cover, but cool Bronze Age Marvel book. That's where my heart belongs, to Bronze Age, so I'll pick them up for cheap wherever I could find them, especially a book like this. So yeah, I kind of forgot how much I paid for everything for all these, but each book evened out to about $5. And then I thought I did so well that I went back to the shop the next day and did a haul with the owner when he was back in. So I had to step away to grab the books. And that haul, it centered around one book that I was a little hesitant on getting. It didn't have a price on it, but knowing Jason, I knew I'd get a pretty solid deal. So before we get to that, let me show off everything that was thrown in. We got Spawn 134. This is it's not late enough in the run to be too valuable, but any Spawn in the hundreds I'll pick up. Not a pretty copy, but $5 sticker on it. I'll add it to the pile. Got G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, number 194. I'll pick up any IDW, A Real American Hero I could find. And then a book that's really fallen, Spider-Man number 12, the first time Miles and Spider-Gwen kiss. This was a huge spec book, I remember, before Into the Spider-Verse came out. Only $5. Pretty surprised to see that, but I guess that's fair market value now. And we got Archie, $5.31. Newsstand as well. Not sure if that matters. Another Clayton Crane. Got the Punisher 228. A lot more going on this cover. It's a bit more expensive than 227 as well. Another low grade bronze book, Marvel Team Up number 1. First issue and a really fun title in my opinion. I was going after all the solo Human Torch stories for a while, and I got them. I think the issues where Human Torch headlined is because there was an ASM issue that was coming out that month, so they didn't want to double up on Spidey. Please let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but really low grade, but happy to have it as a throw-in. And the next two books are Spider-Man number 9, the Into the Spider-Verse 1:10 ratio variant featuring Spider-Man Noir. I said first full appearance of Eddie Brock as well, or Dylan Brock, sorry, if I'm so first full Dylan Brock as well. I'm surprised this book didn't heat up with the Spider-Man Noir Amazon show that did really well, but it stayed steady around $40 or $50. Another book that came down since the end of the Spider-Verse books kind of fell off, but $8 for even the standard cover is a good price. So getting the ratio for that is pretty sick. And then Beat to Hell got a copy of Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos, number 13, classic Cap cover. First time him and Nick Fury are entitled together. Looks like a rat or something at the bottom corner of this book. And then got a chunk of the cover ripped out. I don't know how, but the staples are still attached to this guy. So, yeah, that was a throw-in. And next book, which I wouldn't really call them throw-ins, but it was a bundle. Then the next book that this haul centered around was Conan the Barbarian number 1, but the dreaded purple label. Yeah, so sorry for the glare and the poor camera work, but yeah, 8.0 purple label. As you see, it's slight A, and the main reason I bought it is because I knew I would get a good deal, and because the restoration on it is a little stroke of pen, and this corner is kind of already lifted right here. So I thought this would be a really easy restoration project, and that this was a book that could possibly still get a 6.2, maybe a 5.5 to a 7.5 or 8 after that gets removed and after it gets pressed. So the price I paid for everything, a stack of books I showed off, and a Conan number 1 in a CGC 8.0 purple label was $220. So pretty happy with that. I'll crack this out, get it pressed, and resubmit it eventually. Don't know when, but happy to have it for a good deal. There's the back cover as well. It's pretty old label too. Not to age anyone in the audience, but this book has been in the slab longer than I've been alive. So yeah, cool book. And then last two books, I picked them up somewhere in the 3-month window. that I got all these are these two guys here. First one, Tales to Astonish, number 59, first Hulk in the Tales to Astonish title. He's battling Giant Man. This is probably one of my favorite books in the run. This and the Spidey crossover. The staples on this are attached, but I want to say I paid 15 bucks for it. And then the last book I got, my jaw dropped when I came across this for a couple of reasons. We got Planet Comics number 1, very, very popular Dave Stevens book. There is like foxing, molding, or something going on the front cover, as you can see there. Not sure what it is. Very noticeable, and we'll definitely take the grade down. But that aside, if you just look at the spine itself, it is a sharp copy. And this was marked at 15 bucks. So for a pretty eye-catching comic with standing on the front cover. I don't know what's up with that. I got a first Power Girl standing on the cover, got an Archie Innuendo cover was standing on the cover. Yeah, what's the deal with you guys out there and getting stands on your books? So these came out to about 30 bucks for the bundle, and that is all. That's everything I picked up between late January to sometime in March or April. I think I did really well for myself here. And I better cut this video before I keep it going. I said short and sweet, and this is the longest damn haul on the channel. So thank you very much for watching, and hats off to you if you managed to stick through. Yeah, I'll get the next haul out sooner than later. Got some sweet finds on that too. But take care, everyone, and thanks again. Deuces.